featuring the visiting Yale Bulldogs from the Ivy League and your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And now get your scorecards ready. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Yale. Leading off and playing center field, number 28, Caden Dosa. Batting second, the right fielder, number 1, Garrett Larson. Batting third at first base, number 24, Chris DeFrima. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 5, Jack Dowd. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 9, Owen Turner. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 34, Chance Chapel. Batting seventh at second base, number 10, Colin Schlum. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 13, Jackson Hayes. Rounding out the 9 for Yale, the left fielder, number 7, Brady Weiss. And on the mound for the Bulldogs, we're in the bullpen, the right-hander, number 15, Alex Kwong. Yale is coached by pitching coach Chris Wojcik, hitting coach Corey Keene, and assistant coach Trevor Red. The director of baseball operations is Pat O'Neill, and director of baseball instruction is Joe Espinosa. The head coach of the Bulldogs in his 4th season is Brian Haynes. And now, the starting lineup for your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Leading off and playing second base, number 29, Eric Almonte. Batting second, the third baseman, number 36, Andre Martinez. Batting third in left field, number 1, Darryl Lee. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 33, Jorge Rodriguez. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 2, Jeter Bueno. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 10, Michael Lozana. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 44, Jose Fernandez. Batting eighth and playing right field, number 5, Michael Rodriguez. Rounding out the 9 for the Wildcats, the center fielder, number 19, Sergio Rivera. And on the mound for the Wildcats, the right-hander, number 31, Tanner Bocabello. The assistant coaches for Bethune-Cookman are Derek Cartaya, Joel Sanchez, Hunter Allen, and the graduate assistant is Peter Vasquez. The head coach of the Wildcats in his 7th season is Johnny Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Let's play ball.
Well, live from Jackie Robinson Ballpark in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. It's time for the weekend finale here from the Jack. It's the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 4-2 overall, coming off of a win last night over Florida A&M at the Andre Dawson Classic against the Yale Bulldogs, who are still looking for their first win of the season. They're 0-2 after a walk-off win by the Wildcats on Friday night, and then a loss to Jackson State yesterday afternoon, as this abbreviated little two-game series comes to an end here in Daytona Beach. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company as the Wildcats look to improve to 5-2 overall. It's overcast and windy here at the Jack today. We had a spot of about 5 to 10 minutes of really heavy rain about 45 minutes ago, but that has cleared off, leaving only the cool and the wind in its wake. The temperature in the mid to low 60s, the wind blowing 14 miles an hour from left to right. The Wildcats will send Tanner Bocabello to the mound for his second start of the year. Last week, he took the no decision against the Bradley Braves. Through 4 innings, gave up 4 runs. Just one of those 4 runs was earned, of course, on the error by Judah Poyeto. Developed 3 of those runs. Struck out 4, walked 2, gave up the solo home run for his only earned run. The Bulldogs will try and bounce back after falling to Jackson State 6-5 yesterday, and Caden Dosa, who had a good day yesterday, hit his first home run of the year, a 2-runner in the top of the 8th to make the game 6-5, but Yale could not complete what was a 6-2 deficit after the 5th inning against the Jackson State Tigers. The righty Tanner Bocabello toes the slab, and we are underway with a fastball strike at the knees. Defensive alignment for Bethune-Cookman. Only one change from the lineup that has been pretty much every game this season. Bocabello pitching, Michael Lucena catching, Andre Martinez at third, Gito Poyeto at short. Chop foul, 0-2 on Dosa. Eric Almonte at second, Jorge Rodriguez at first. Darrell Lee in left, Sergio Rivera in right, and the one change for the Wildcats is Michael Rodriguez is in right field. Rivera is in center. Armani Newton out with a hand injury today. Breaking ball just misses the zone, and it's 1-2. Michael Rodriguez, the junior, now out of Pembroke Pines in his 3rd year as a Wildcat. Pitch to Dosa, swinging a foul ball. Dosa fouled it off his foot. Dosa, in his first 2 games of the season, has scored 2 runs on 3 hits and 8 at-bats, a homer and 4 RBI. Dosa getting checked on by his third base coach. The Yale Bulldogs picked to finish second in the Ivy League behind reigning tournament champions Columbia, have started 0-2. They led the Wildcats into the 9th on Friday, but 3 runs in the 9th, including a walk-off 2-run homer by Andre Martinez, sealed the 7-5 win for the Maroon and Gold. It's been a pretty successful week for Bethune-Cookman Athletics, both on the diamond and around the sports. Breaking ball fouled outside of third. Men's basketball improved to a 3-game lead on top of the SWAC standings, moving to 13-3 with 3 games to go, with a win over Alabama A&M last night, led by 20 with 3 minutes gone by in the second half, but had to hang on and win by just 8. That one's upstairs, 2-2 on Dosa. Softball was out in California this week at the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Picked up a big win over Utah on Friday. Fastball fouled away, and Dosa stays alive. And women's tennis picked up their first win of the year as they defeated Edward Waters 6-1 yesterday. Of course, track and field currently at the SWAC Indoor Track and Field Championships. Swing and a miss. Dosa ahead of the curve. And there's one away in the inning, a long AB. And here is Garrett Larson, who's been the best player for Yale so far this season. In 7 at-bats, he has 5 hits, 3 runs, a double, a homer, and 1 RBI. He has also not struck out. And in the Friday game here against Bethune-Cookman, he was 3 for 4 as he gets hit by a pitch. So 1 on, 1 out. Here's Chris DePrima. DePrima has 7 at-bats, a run on 3 hits, none batted in. He's struck out twice, hasn't walked. Throw back to first, Bocabello covers. If you're just joining us, welcome. It's the top of the first. It's very windy today in Daytona Beach. As we know, the Wildcats like to check on their runners at first base, sometimes to their detriment. And just as I say that, the wind picks up. It is blowing hard left to right, straight across the field. There's a strike at the knees from Bocabello. Wildcats last night defeated Florida A&M 6-2 as that one almost gets away from Rodriguez over at first base. We're up 6-0 going to the 9th. Edwin Sanchez took a no-hitter to the 9th. That's close. He's safe. Oh, boy, that was close over at first. Larson barely got in, and Coach Hernandez not happy with it. The first base umpire looked like he was set to punch him out, then changed his mind mid-call. But last night, Wildcats winning 6-2. Edwin Sanchez, 107 pitches, gave up 1 hit. Coach Hernandez pleads his case, gets nothing. And Bocabello goes back to work, throw back to first. This time he's out and they got him. 4 pickoffs to first at the 4th time of asking. Garrett Larson is down and there's 2 away. To the naked eye, he looked more out the first time. That ball hit in the air to center field. Sergio Rivera, 3 steps in, makes the catch. At a 1-2-3, go the Bulldogs. And we go to the bottom of the first, no score from Jackie Robinson Ballpark on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We go to the bottom of the first here in Daytona Beach. A pick off to first after a hit by pitch. A strikeout and a flyout means the Bulldogs go quietly in the top of the inning. And the Wildcats come to bat in the first and deal with the sophomore from New York City, Alex Swang. On the mound, the righty. Wang's first appearance of the season. Eric Almonte steps to the plate. The switch hitter will bat left. Wang sets and fires. Almonte check swing, grounds it over towards Coach Hernandez, who makes a catch in the batter's box and fakes like he's thrown into invisible first base. This is the second year that Coach Hernandez has taken over primary third base coaching duties. He can be a little funny over there. Likes to keep it light. The 0-1 to Almonte. Upstairs and out, 1-1. Almonte, 16 at-bats, 3 runs on 2 hits, no extra basers, and an RBI. He's struck out 3 times, been walked twice, and hit by a pitch. He's also stolen 2 bags. 1-1 from Huang. Down and in, but a swing and a foul tip. And it's 1-2. Alex Huang last season, 14 appearances, 2 starts, 25 innings with a .360 ERA. He allowed 11 runs on 18 hits, 10 of those earned, striking out 19 and walking 8. Breaking ball off the knee of the catcher, Turner. It's a bit of a makeshift lineup for Yale today. There was a bit of an illness going through the Bulldog ranks over the weekend. The defensive alignment for Yale looks like this, as here's the 2-2. Almonte grounds a foul outside of first, and it stays 2-2. Huang pitching, Turner catching. Dower at third, Hayes at short, Sloan at second, DePrima at first. The big change is Ruiz-Whites, Brady Ruiz-Whites, and left field. Dosa in center and Larson in right. Down and in, count runs full on the fastball from Huang. Huang, a 2-time first-team all-conference out of Trinity High School in New York City. In the air to left field, tracking back is Ruiz-Whites down the line. He'll make the catch. And there's one away. Almonte a little bit behind that fastball that was down and away.
The third baseman, number 36, Andre Martinez.
Here's Andre Martinez, who after a slow start to the season has really picked it up. 5 runs on 5 hits, a double, a homer, and an RBI. Excuse me, 3 RBI. First pitch, a strike at the knees. Martinez had the walk-off 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th on Friday night to beat the Bulldogs 7-5. He also had 2 ribbies last night. Off the end of the bat, sky to right center field. That's a long run for Dosa, but he'll track it down for out number 2.
Now batting, the left fielder.
That'll bring up Darrell Lee. Lee has been probably your most efficient hitter for the Wildcats so far this season. 7 runs on 8 hits, 3 doubles, and 3 batted in. He's also walked 4 times. Down and in. He has struck out the most on the team. Sorry, second most on the team with 8. Armani Newton has 9 Ks. Newton, of course, not playing today. So Wang trying to get through the Wildcat order 1, 2, 3. Lee in the air to left field. Ruiz-Whites makes the catch. 3 fly balls, and that'll do it for the Wildcats in the first. We go to the second, no score, and I'll leave you with my pregame interview with head coach Johnny Hernandez. I'm here with Coach Hernandez before the Wildcats take on Yale here on Sunday afternoon. Coach, a long day for you guys yesterday. Played an 8 p.m. start down in Vero Beach. Didn't get back here till about 2 o'clock in the morning. Before we talk about the game, let's ask the question, how are the guys feeling?
They're feeling fine, again, right? Like, everyone signed up for this, right? So, like we told them post-game last night, it doesn't matter what time we get home. We have to, get ourselves ready to turn around and play a really good Yale baseball team for Sunday. And we have an opportunity to finish the weekend, which we fell short of last week. So just looking forward, guys, to come out and compete today and play 9 innings of really good baseball today.
Edwin Sanchez was unbelievable last night. Took a no-hitter into the 9th. You guys won 6-2 over Florida A&M. What were your thoughts on the performance from Edwin and the whole team?
I mean, with Edwin, it's what he's done, right? He throws strikes. He attacks, the strike zone. His changeup was working for him really good last night, and he kept the FAMU hitters off balance. He was able to locate on the inner half, top of the zone. He was able to locate on the outer half of the plate. So a lot of things were working really well for Edwin, and the defense was outstanding. I think outside of the 9th inning where we had an error, or maybe 2, defensively it was a really good game. And again, offensively, we did what we needed to do, although I felt that we left some runs on the table. I think we got to do a better job of that, putting teams away early. But again, just an outstanding performance by Edwin. Again, we have 3 aces on our staff, and everyone is going to know why.
How important was it only using 2 pitchers last night because Edwin went so deep in the ballgame?
I think it's huge, right? And I think even on Friday, we only used 2 pitchers, right? Because Harvey Abreu threw well, and Rincones gave us 3 innings in relief. So, full bullpen's ready to go for today. Again, opportunity to finish the weekend, and we're going to put our best foot forward.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Good luck.
You got it. Hail Wildcats.
Jack Dower leads off the second inning for the Yale Bulldogs against Tanner Bocabello. First pitch was low. Here's the second pitch. It's a fastball strike down Broadway. Dower in 8 at-bats has a run on a hit. His hit was a double. He has 2 RBI, both of those on Friday. Called a strike inside corner, 1-2. Has not walked, has struck out twice as the wind whips across the field here left to right. Bocabello in the count, 1-2. Runs the fastball in on the hands, and Dower fouls it away. Breaking ball. Dower just caught the end of it and will foul it away again. This Yale Bulldogs team will do a lot of traveling over the next couple of weeks. They're down here in Florida for the first weekend of the season. Then they go out to California. They'll play Pepperdine for a 3-game series next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then they'll have their home opener on Wednesday, March 4th against Manhattan, then a 3-game series at George Washington down in D.C. Upstairs from Bocabello, 2-2. Although the Bulldogs have had their travel interrupted. Here's the 2-2. Bocabello attacks the zone. It's fouled away again by Dower. Yale was supposed to fly home immediately after this game, and we thought there might have been a drop-dead point in this contest because they had to catch a flight. Boca comes home with it, misses upstairs, and the ball gets to the backstop. Count goes full 3-2. But their flight out of Orlando this afternoon got canceled because of 28 inches of snow back home in Connecticut. So I'm sure all the Bulldogs and their fans that have traveled with them are happy to be down here. Dower fouls it off again off the inside of the bat. Vocabello's had some long ABs to deal with in these first couple of innings. The full count delivery. In the air to right center field, and Rivera makes the catch. Playing outfield's going to be tough today because that wind is going to cause all sorts of havoc with the baseballs. But everybody's been solid so far out there. Here's the catcher, Owen Turner. Turner to start the year. No runs on a hit in 5 ABs. Fouls a fastball inside away. It's been walked once, hit by a pitch, and struck out twice. And he's behind on the count 1-0. Bulldogs have had a lot of foul balls and working this pitch count up for Vocabello. He's already up to 23 pitches. Yep, up and in, ball 1. The good news for the Wildcats is through the first 2 games of this weekend, they've only used 2 bullpen arms. Byron Rincones threw 3 innings on Friday, and Justin Morales mopped up the 9th inning yesterday. So they've got a full bullpen arsenal. Of course, you'd like Vocabello to settle in and go 6 or 7 innings for you, but that's, of course, not guaranteed, especially on a Sunday in college baseball. Breaking ball tipped foul. Count is 1-2 on Turner. 1 away, top 2. The Wildcats continue their homestand to start the year. That one bounced toward Poyeto at short. He makes the toss over. And there's 2 away. They'll get the University of South Florida Bulls here on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Then a 4-game series against Delaware State next weekend. Friday doubleheader, Saturday 1 game on Sunday before finally playing their first away contest of the season at Miami on March 4th. Then they'll continue playing most of their games early on in the season at home, facing Florida Gulf Coast for a 3-game series, March 6th, 7th, and 8th. They start conference play here against Prairie View A&M on March 13th. High fly ball, right field down the line. It'll tail foul off the bat of Chase Chaplin. Count is 1-1 on Chase. Chaplin yet to have a hit. Has struck out once and has grounded into 2 double plays. Whacked foul out the third base side, 1-2 in his 8 at-bats so far this season. He grounded into both of those double plays on Friday night. Both of those were inning enders. Off the end of the bat, right back at Vocabello. Fielded behind the bag at second by Almonte. His throw to first pulls Rodriguez off the bag. And Chaplin is aboard for the first time this season. Officially called an infield single for Chaplin, and we'll go to Colin Sloan. Sloan playing second base today. Sloan, a run on 2 hits in 5 at-bats. Throw back to first, and Chaplin dives in. Sloan has also struck out twice, has not walked. This is only game 3 for Yale on this season, as the Wildcats keep checking over to first. 2 gone in the second. Fly out, ground out, infield single. The pitch to Sloan. Out, down and away on the cutter. And it's 1-0. Tanner Vocabello already up over 30 pitches here in the second inning. Not a good sign for his longevity in the game. That was close over at first, but Chaplin dives back in. They've already gotten one pick off to first. Garrett Larson was picked off in the first inning. Ground ball to short. Poyeto backhands it across the diamond in time by half a step to get Sloan. Nice play by Poyeto over at short, and we go to the bottom of the second. No runs, a hit, and one left for the Bulldogs. No score here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We go to the bottom of the second here in Daytona Beach. No score between Bethune-Cookman and the Yale Bulldogs. Andrew Huang on the mound for Yale. Got through the Wildcat order 1, 2, 3 in the first on 3 flyouts and just 11 pitches. Breaking ball, check swing, and they'll say that Jorge Rodriguez went around. But a slower start to the year for Jorge Rodriguez than he would have liked. In 20 at-bats, he has 2 runs on 3 hits, a double, and 3 RBI, just batting 150. He's struck out 5 times and walked twice. Breaking ball falls off a cliff into the zone. And it's 0-2 on Rodriguez. Alex Wang looking for his first strikeout of the year. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt. Ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Chop foul. Wildcat men's basketball close to locking up the top seed in the SWAC. Currently 13-3. With 3 games left, their magic number is either win 2 of their last 3 or beat Southern on the road. The overshift is on Rodriguez, only 1 defender on the right-hand side, and Rodriguez launches one foul into the construction down the third base line. Stays alive at 1-2. Wildcat basketball plays Southern, Grambling, and Florida A&M all on the road in the last 2 weeks of the season before they will head to Atlanta for the conference tournament. Wang's 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2. Full day of action in the SWAC. A lot of SWAC teams are playing each other down at the Andre Dawson Classic in Vero Beach, where both of these teams were last night. The Wildcats beat Florida A&M 6-2. Yale lost to Jackson State 6-5. Another foul off the bat of Rodriguez, and he stays alive. A couple games already done today. Jackson State scored 6 runs in the 8th inning, but could not overcome the hot start from Grambling State as the Grambling Tigers beat the Jackson Tigers 8-7. Wang's 2-2. Tipped into the glove, strike 3. First strikeout on the season for Wang, 1 away in the inning. That was a battle, an 8-pitch AB, and Wang eventually got the better of Rodriguez. And here's Jeter Poyeto, who had 2 assists last inning at shortstop. Wildcats do not have a base runner yet through an inning and a third. Breaking ball, Poyeto jumps back, and it almost clips the zone on the inside corner. The other game that's already done in the SWAC today, Alabama State beat Texas Southern in a low-scoring game, 2-1 down in Vero. That breaking ball is a strike on the inside corner. Alabama A&M trails Northern Kentucky in the bottom of the 5th. That is a neutral site game in New Orleans. Prairie View A&M and Incarnate Word getting set to finish their series. That first pitch is coming up at the top of the hour. Poyeto lifts a breaking ball into foul territory, first base side, going over towards the dugout, and making a spectacular catch is DePrima. Crashed into the short wall behind the dugout and hung on for out number 2. Now with 2 away, here's Michael Lucena, the starting catcher. First pitch from Wang fouled away, 0-1. Lucena, 4 runs on 6 hits, 2 doubles, and 3 RBI in 19 ABs. Struck out 3 times, walked twice. Ground ball, high chopper over the glove of the pitcher, Wang, and into center field, and the Wildcats have their first base runner of the afternoon.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 44, Jose Fernandez.
And that shows off the springiness of this all-turf field here at the Jack. It not only hopped over Huang's glove at full stretch, it also beat the diving Sloan behind the bag at second, although even if Sloan was able to knock it down, I think Lucena would be safe at first. Ground ball up the middle. There's a base hit by the designated hitter, Jose Fernandez, and the Wildcats will have 2 on and 2 out. So 2 singles straight back up the middle for the Wildcats. And here's the big change in the lineup. Michael Rodriguez comes in. Only his second at-bat of the season in place of the injured right fielder. That is on the ground to second. They'll go for second for the force, and that'll retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And we go to the 3rd, still scoreless here in Daytona Beach on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the third we go. No score between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Yale Bulldogs. Wildcats looking to sweep the weekend. Yale looking to avoid getting swept and pick up their first win of the year. First pitch, a fastball up and into Jackson Hayes from Tanner Bocabella, who fires in pitch number 34 already here at the start of the third inning. A lot of foul balls, a little long at-bats for Yale. There's a swing and a miss, and a cutter down low. Jackson Hayes, just 4 at-bats the first 2 games. A run on 2 hits. That one just low, 2-1. Hasn't struck out, hasn't walked yet, Jackson Hayes. That one just misses low and inside, and it's 3-1. Boca rocks and fires. Strike at the knees. Count goes full 3-2. Eight, 9-1 due up in this inning for the Bulldogs. Jackson Hayes, Brady Ruiz, Weiss, and Caden Dosa. And that's low and inside. First walk given up by Bocabella. A runner on with nobody out for the Bulldogs. Now here's Brady Ruiz Weiss. Didn't see the field in the first game against the Wildcats, but played last night against Jackson State. 4 at-bats, no runs, a hit. Was a single, didn't strike out, didn't walk. Put the ball in play every time. He's got Jackson Hayes on first with nobody out. Squares to bunt, ball up and away. There's a bunt. It's a beauty down the third base side. Charging is Martinez. He throws it low, but in time to first. And the bunt will do the job of moving Jackson Hayes into scoring position. And that'll bring up Caden Dosa. Dosa struck out his first time up to begin the game. Went around the SWAC already. Let's go around the Ivy League, as they are in action all across the country today. First pitch from Bocabella to Dosa. Line drive, left center field. Long run for Rivera. He slides. He made the catch. What a play by Sergio Rivera out in center. Cross his body, sliding in, and there's 2 away. That saved the run. And it was very similar looking to the ball that he dropped in the 9th inning of last night's game against Florida A&M to preserve. Oh no, they say it dropped. They say it dropped. And Dosa's on first. I thought Rivera had a spectacular catch, but the umpires did not agree. So it was very much like the play in the 9th inning last night against FAMU, where the ball tipped off the end of his glove. And that was the first hit of the game to deny Edwin Sanchez a no-hitter. Breaking ball into shallow left. That's going to drop. Everybody's going to hold up, and with 1 out, the bases are loaded. Hayes to third, Dosa to second, Garrett Larson to first. His ridiculous start to the season continues. Yale looking to blow this one open early. Chris DePrima, who flew out to center his first time up, will bat with the bases loaded and 1 out. We thought that Sergio Rivera made a spectacular catch in left center. Ground ball to third. Martinez steps on third, goes across to first. Double play! The Wildcats turned 3 double plays against Yale on Friday. Andre Martinez with a brilliant play at third right there to save at least 2 runs and retire the Bulldogs. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and we go to the bottom of the third. We are somehow still scoreless on the CatEye Radio Network and Swag TV. Well, the Wildcats infield defense strikes again, with the exception of Gita Poyeto, and maybe without the exception of Gita Poyeto, because he's been solid too. The Wildcat infield has been spectacular to start this season, as we go 9-1-2 at the start of the third for the Wildcats. Here's Sergio Rivera, who almost laid out to make a spectacular catch in left center in the last inning, was ruled that the ball hit the ground. And the great defense of Andre Martinez at third. He bobbled a ground ball that was hit right to him, stepped on third, threw it to first to get out of a bases loaded and one-out situation. Sergio Rivera fouls that one away. Alex Wang still on the mound. Rivera, in 18 at-bats, has 6 runs on 4 hits, 3 RBI to start the season. Breaking ball catches the zone 0-2. Rivera also has struck out the second most times on the team with 8 strikeouts. He's walked 4 times, been hit by a pitch. So he's either getting a hit, striking out, or being walked. He's not putting the ball in play much without it being a hit. He puts one in the air to left center field. Dosa and Weiss converge, and Dosa makes the catch for out number 1. That's 4 of the first 9 outs. Lazy fly balls to left center.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 29, Eric Almonte.
The Wildcats looked like they were starting to get to Huang at the tail end of the second inning, as with 2 outs, Lucena singled and Fernandez singled, and Rodriguez bounced into a fielder's choice to end the frame. The Yale offense starting to wake up. Wildcat bats hoping they can do as well. That is a line drive base hit to right field. First pitch off the bat of Eric Almonte, and the Wildcats have a run-out base runner.
Third baseman, number 36.
Here's Andre Martinez, flew out to center his first time up off the end of the bat. Almonte also flew out his first time up. That was to left field. So both flew out opposite field their first time up, and Almonte pulled the ball. So it shows that the timing is getting a little bit better for the Wildcats. Martinez on the ground to second, could be 2. Shovel to second for 1. On to first, double play. That ends the inning. So both defenses playing good ball here early on. No score as we go to the 4th here on the CatEye Radio Network and Swag TV. We move to the fourth. Here in baseball action on Sunday afternoon. The end of a very busy weekend for Wildcat Athletics. Jack Dower leads off against Tanner Bocabello, who's thrown 45 pitches through 3. Breaking ball strike. Dower flew out to center his first time up. That began the second inning. Bocabello, no runs on 3 hits, a walk and a strikeout, has his defense to thank for getting him out of a bases loaded 1-out situation in the third. Breaking ball low and away, ball 1, but that's why the defense is there. The Wildcats against Yale in their 2 games have turned 4 double plays, 3 on Friday and 1 today. That one bounced to the plate, 2 balls, 1 strike. You see the command for Bocabello starting to waver a little bit, walked Jackson Hayes to begin the last inning. And is behind 2-1 here. Change-up swing and a miss for Dower, and it's 2-2. Again, bounce to the plate, count runs full on Dower. Softball was out in California, track and field at the SWAC Indoor Championships. And Bocabello's 3-2 hits Dower. So 3 free passes given to the Bulldogs, and here comes Coach Hernandez. Nobody warming up in the bullpen for the Wildcats, but maybe that starts to change. As for the second time in as many innings, it's 1 on, nobody out off a free pass. Coach Hernandez out to argue the case that maybe Dower leaned into it. I don't think so. Boca up to 45 pitches through 3 innings. And has not gotten any easy ABs. He only has a 1 strikeout, which was the first batter of the game, Caden Dosa. Dower will remain on first, and now here's Owen Turner, who grounded out to short his first time up back in the second. Square to bunt, puts it down, throw to first, back to third, and the ball gets way away into the Wildcat bullpen, and Yale scores. What a wild nonsense of a play. Owen Turner squared to bunt. The ball almost hit him in the head. He used the bat to defend himself. The ball went fair. He didn't run. Everybody thought it was a foul ball. They threw him out at first. Then nobody covered third. Jack Dower tried to get there. And then Jorge Rodriguez tried to throw the ball over there, but nobody was covering. Madness at Jackie Robinson. First pitch breaking ball strike to Chance Chaplin. 1-0 Yale. Ground ball, foul outside of third by Chaplin. He singled his first time up. That was in the infield. That was the first hit of the game for Yale. Slow roller to second base. And the throw to first pulled Rodriguez off the bag. High pop in the infield. Almonte tracking, catching, 2 down. But the Wildcats behind one of the wildest plays you will see all season. Two away, nobody on. Here's Colin Sloan, grounded out to short his first time up. And Colin Sloan is going to get a pitching violation, and there's one strike on him. Pitch clock violation, I should say. So the count is 0-1. Watches a breaking ball down and away. Really where the command has struggled with Bo Cabello pretty much since the end of the second inning has been on that breaking ball. A lot of it has been bounced to the plate. Line drive, center field. That's going to drop in, and Rivera cuts it off. Big turn at first by Sloan. He's in there with a single, and the inning continues for the Bulldogs. There's Jackson Hayes, who led off the third with a walk, ended up being stranded on third after that double play ended the inning and ended the bases loaded threat. 1-0 Yale in the inning on a hit by pitch, bunt, a sac bunt, and then an error, all on the same play. They'll continue to check on Sloan over at first. Tanner Bocabello up near 60 pitches now here in the fourth. No bullpen action yet for the Wildcats. Outside, Lucena stood up like he wanted to throw back to first, but the ball pops out of his glove. Jackson Hayes, the freshman from Wiley, Texas. We'll have to wait for another throwback. Hayes got his first career hit, first career run scored on Friday night as part of the 3-run seventh that allowed Yale to take the lead. There's a strike. Before the Wildcats eventually walked it off 7-5. Runner goes, throw to second. Got him on the backside. Michael Lucena. A really nice play as Colin Sloan tried to steal one on the throw back to the pitcher. Lucena had other ideas, and the Wildcats get out of it, a run on a hit. Nobody left, also one error, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. Wildcats behind 1-0 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the bottom of the fourth, the Wildcats find themselves behind 1-0 against the Yale Bulldogs. The Bulldogs score on a hit by pitch, then a wacky error play in the top of the inning. Darrell Lee leads off against Alex Huang, who has cruised through the most part of this game. Wildcats have not had a runner at third base yet. Breaking ball low, ball one. Wildcats only had 3 base runners, Lucena and Fernandez in the second, and then Almonte in the third, all on singles. But a fielder's choice ended the second, and a double play ended the third. Lee watches one outside, 2-0. Huang also only 31 pitches to begin the inning, now up to 33. Well ahead of his counterpart, Tanner Bocabello, who has labored to 58 pitches through 4. Outside, 3-0 on Lee. Darrell Lee, now a senior. A transfer 2 seasons ago from Coastal Alabama Community College, and was excellent last year in his first season in Daytona Beach. Outside, ball 4, 4-pitch walk. First walk given up by Huang, and the Wildcats have the leadoff man aboard for the first time in the ballgame.
The first baseman, number 33, Jorge Rodriguez.
And surprisingly to the way that Huang, has pitched to start this game, none of those 4 pitches to Darrell Lee were particularly close. Here's Jorge Rodriguez, struck out his first time up on a tip into the glove. Runner on and nobody out. First pitch is inside. Rodriguez spins out of the way. Jorge Rodriguez, who was the most efficient hitter for the Wildcats last year, finished with his batting average up near 400. Watches a slider outside, 2-0. Is batting just 150 on the year. 3 hits and 20 at-bats, 2 runs, a double and 3 RBIs, struck out 6 times. And after 6 straight balls, we're gonna have some meetings on the mound here between the Yale coaching staff and Alex Huang. Pitching coach is Chris Wojcik. Out there just trying to settle Huang down. Nobody in the bullpen for either squad here in the 4th. You love Bethune-Cookman University sports? Of course you do. Then don't miss Hail Wildcats Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs. Hosted by me, voice of the Wildcats, Michael Terrell, and featuring the expertise of Bethune-Cookman sports information staff. Hail Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune into 1380 WELA Daytona Beach every Saturday to catch the show live or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform. New episode dropped yesterday. There's a fastball strike, low and inside on Jorge Rodriguez, and the count is 2-1. Runner goes, high pop, Lee has to retreat. Dosa coming in makes the catch, and there's 2 away. So Rodriguez 0 for 2. Here's Jeter Poyeto, who is 0 for 1. DePrima, the first baseman, made a fantastic catch on a pop-up in foul territory right against that little short wall behind the dugout on the first base side to retire Poyeto in the first. 1-on-1 out here in the 4th. Throw back to first to try and get Lee. The Wildcats do have 9 steals through their first 6 games of the season. Darrell Lee has 1. Big cut and miss. Poyeto ahead of the change. Wildcats behind after a wacky play in the top of the fourth. That allowed a runner to score it all the way from first on a bunt. Lee dives back in. Lang from the stretch. Breaking ball outside and low. Last season, Darrell Lee was second on the team in steals, 23 of them. Second only to Sergio Rivera, who had 36. That is why they're being very careful with Darrell Lee over there at first. After a leadoff walk, Jorge Rodriguez flew out to center. Darrell Lee goes, breaking ball. That's going to be hammered down the third baseline and get all the way to the corner. Coming around third is Lee. He's going to try and get to the plate. The relay throw is bobbled by Hayes, and the Wildcats have tied the game on an RBI double by Jeter Poyeto. Nice piece of hitting by Jeter. Turned on the inside pitch, drilled it down the third base line over the glove of Dower. It nestled itself all the way down there by the 317 sign in the corner. And it was a late decision by Coach Hernandez over at third to send Lee all the way around. He was rewarded when Hayes, who was covering third base, bobbled the relay. Now it's Michael Lucena, breaking ball down and away, ball one. Lucena singled on a bouncing ball through the infield up the middle his first time up. So it's 1-1 here in the fourth. Lang's 1-0. Inside 2-0. Are we seeing Alex Wang start to waver in his control a little bit? Darrell Lee led off the inning with a walk. It was his first walk of the game. Throw back to second. Jeter Poyeto is there. Jeter Poyeto has 2 of the 9 stolen bases so far this season. Eric Almonte has 4. Nobody else with more than 1 on the Wildcat squad. Line drive up the middle. That's going to tail and be dropped by Dosa in center. It gets behind him. Not far enough for Lucena or Poyeto to score from second. He goes to third. Lucena on with a single, and the Wildcats have runners on the corners with 1 down. And the batter will be Jose Fernandez. Jose Fernandez singled to center field his first time up in the second. Then was caught in a fielder's choice going from first to second on the ground ball by Michael Rodriguez. Runners on the corners. 1 down. Wildcats looking to take the lead. Fernandez, big swing, fouls it back. Officially called a single to center by Lucena. The 0-1. In the air to center field. Well hit. Moving back Dosa. Tracking. Making the catch. Tagging and coming in is Lucena. And the Wildcats lead 2-1. RBI sac fly for Jose Fernandez. Michael Rodriguez takes his second turn at bat, grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice in the second. He's got Michael Lucena on first. Correction, Najita Poyeto scored from third, not Lucena. Lucena's on first. And 2 down in the fourth. The Wildcats have already played 2 runs to take a 2-1 lead. First pitch, tip foul. Rodriguez swings and misses at a changeup low and away. 0-2. Rodriguez from Pembroke Pines down in South Florida, West Broward High School, and has played his entire collegiate career here at Bethune-Cookman. Made 29 starts as a junior last season. Strike 3 called on Rodriguez on the inside corner, and that is the end of the inning. 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 left, and the Wildcats take a 2-1 lead as we go to the 5th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Moseying along to the 5th inning here in Daytona Beach. The sun is out, the clouds have broken, and it's turning into a really beautiful day for baseball. Temperatures in the mid-60s. It is still pretty windy out here after the cold front blew in this morning, taking some rain with it. Wildcats play 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th to take a 2-1 lead on the Yale Bulldogs. Jackson Hayes leads off against Tanner Bocabello. First pitch, grounder to third. Fair ball, fielded behind the bag. Martinez on a hop, safe as the throw gets behind Rodriguez. That was a really tough play for Martinez. Got the ball over there in time, just pulled Rodriguez off the bag, and he couldn't secure the ball in his glove. Brady Ruiz-Weiss, for the 2nd time in this game, batting second behind Jackson Hayes, and now has Hayes on first. In the 3rd inning, Hayes walked, and Weiss bunted him to second. He will square to do the same thing here. Pull it back, swing, and a miss at a fastball at the knees. As I was going around the SWAC earlier, I missed a couple of games. Prairie View and Incarnate Word are underway in the bottom of the 1st, no score there. Stephen F. Austin is playing Arkansas Pine Bluff. Squaring to bunt, Weiss puts it down first base side. Off the mound is Bocabello. He throws to first, so Hayes advanced to second. So for the 2nd time, Brady Ruiz-Weiss does the sack bunt job, and now it's Caden Dosa, who singled to left field last time up. That was the Rivera catch that wasn't. We thought Sergio Rivera made a spectacular running catch, but it was ruled to have hit the ground first. In the air to shallow center. That's going to get down in front of Rivera. So the exact same thing playing out again. Hayes goes to third. Dosa with a shallow single. And now there are runners in the corners with one out for the hottest hitter in the Bulldogs order, Garrett Larson. Larson was hit by a pitch and was picked off on first in the first. Then singled to left and stranded in the third. He's got the tying run on third with the Wildcats up 2-1 here in the fifth. Players to bunt, puts it down. They'll try and squeeze him home. They got no play at home, and we're tied. Larson out at first. Jackson Hayes comes home, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Yale using the small ball to their advantage. Caden Dosa also goes to second. With two away, here's DePrima and a runner in scoring position. Arkansas Pine Bluff hosting Stephen F. Austin, the rubber game of their three-game series. The Golden Lions won the first game. Stephen F. Austin won yesterday 2-1. Breaking ball off the end of the bat of DePrima fouled away. And Stephen F. Austin, the top of the first, is currently up 2-0. Last game on the docket today that hasn't started yet in the SWAC is Alcorn State against Houston Christian. Alcorn State down 0-2 in that series. Bounce to the plate, 1-1. Lost 12-0 on Friday and 9-2 last night. Florida A&M also playing Southern today at the Andre Dawson Classic in Vero Beach. The Wildcats beat the Rattlers 6-2 last night. Upstairs from Boca. 2 balls and a strike. Gotta imagine that this is Boca Bello's last inning, as he is up over 60 pitches here in the fifth. Bounce to the plate. Lucena does a great job to keep in front of him and keep Dosa on second. But now the count is 3-1. Fastball, grounded foul outside of third on a chop by DePrima. Count goes full. Andres Barroso is warming up in the bullpen for the Wildcats down the third baseline. Still no action yet for the Bulldogs. Of course, we don't know what the state of their bench is, because coach was telling us before the game they've had some illness issues this weekend, which has forced some changes to their lineup. The 3-2. Breaking ball fouled away. Go-ahead run on second for Yale in a 2-2 ball game, top of the fifth. Yale looking for their first win of the season. Wildcats looking to sweep the weekend. High pop, foul behind the plate, not a play. And the at-bat continues for Chris DePrima. One game already final in the Ivy League today. Boston College defeats Cornell 7-6. And he came inside and hit him on the 3-2. That's the third batter Boca Bello has hit to go along with one walk. And there's runners on first and second with one out. And that'll be the end for Tanner Boca Bello. Boca responsible for the 2 runners on. Right now he's given up only 1 earned run, 2 runs total. Other matchups in the Ivy League today, Dartmouth against Fairleigh Dickinson was canceled. Columbia is at Mercer. Harvard is at Tulane. Penn is at Texas A&M. They actually played Texas A&M close last night, as Andres Barroso will come in. And Dartmouth playing a doubleheader at a neutral site game in Boiling Springs, North Carolina. Plays Gardner-Webb later on today. Andres Barroso enters the game for Bethune-Cookman. He's had one really great appearance and one kind of subpar appearance so far this season. Barroso, the junior from Key West High School, and a transfer from Indian River State College, the side-arming righty. Had 2 appearances, both on opening weekend against Bradley. In his first start, he went 2 2/3 innings, allowed no runs on 1 hit, struck out 4, and walked 1. Then he only went 1 inning against the Braves in the 7-6 loss on Sunday, a week ago today. Gave up a run on 2 hits, struck out 1. Has not appeared against Yale yet this weekend. Has not appeared at all this weekend. The Wildcats have only used 2 bullpen arms so far this weekend, with Byron Rincones going 3 innings on Friday and Justin Morales cleaning up the brilliant start by Edwin Sanchez last night with 2/3 of an inning in the 9th. The batter will be Jack Dower. Caden Dosa is on second. Chris DePrima is on first. First pitch from Barroso in the dirt, ball 1. Sun shining right in Barroso's face right now as he deals. Outside 2-0. The bullpen for the Wildcats this season has been very hot and cold. Sometimes they come in and just shut it down. There's a strike, low and inside corner, 2-1. And sometimes a pitcher comes in and just cannot find the strike zone to save his life, and the Wildcats will give up a bunch of runs, like what happened against Bradley in the 3rd game of that series, and then against FIU last Tuesday. Way outside, ball gets away from the catcher. Throw down to second is not in time, wide, and the runners go to second and third. So just like in the 3rd, Wildcats teetering on the edge of disaster. 2nd and 3rd, 2 down in a tie game at 2. Barroso behind in the count, 3-1 to Dower. The pitch. Low, ball 4. And the bases are loaded. A chance to blow the game open has been presented itself to Owen Turner. Turner is 0 for 2. Grounded out to short his first time up, then had a sac bunt in the 4th. That was that crazy play that ended up scoring Dower. Owen Turner, the sophomore from Oxford, Michigan, is ahead of the count, a ball and no strikes, as Barroso has struggled to start this appearance. Outside 2-0. And Coach Hernandez signals to the bullpen to warm up quick, as Coach Joel Sanchez, the pitching coach, will go out and buy some time. Barroso has over-rotated on pretty much everything, has missed everything outside and low to righties. and has only thrown one strike so far. Bases loaded, 2 out, tie game in the 5th. Basketball returns to the CatEye Radio Network Thursday, March 5th, as Bethune-Cookman men's and women's basketball travel to Tallahassee to take on Florida A&M in their regular season finale. Every moment will be live for free on youtube.com/CatEye Network or bcuathletics.com/radio. Two balls, no strikes on Turner. There's a strike, and it's 2-1. Wildcats trying to keep the game tied. Andres Barroso trying to bounce back from a rough start to this appearance. Off the end of the bat, lifted down the first base line. That is going to be foul. And it's only a long strike, 2. Rodriguez gave chase over to the corner and saw it land in foul territory. And a long walk back to the plate for Owen Turner, now in a 2-strike count. As the wind picks up again, whipping left to right across Jackie Robinson Ballpark. The 2-2 from Barroso. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That'll be the inning. Barroso comes in and gets out of the jam. 1 run on 2 hits and the bases left loaded. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-2 between the Bulldogs and the Wildcats here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Well, Yale ties the game at 2 in the top of the 5th. But Andres Barroso comes in and gets out of the bases loaded jam to keep the score tied as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Sergio Rivera comes in. And he will bat against Alex Wang, who has looked pretty good today, breaking ball low, ball 1. Wang throws pitch number 51 for him. He's allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, both earned, struck out 2, walked 1. Both runs coming in the 4th. As he's going to get a pitch clock warning, Wang. We've already seen 1 pitch clock violation on the Bulldogs today. Sergio Rivera flew out to center field his first time up. That was in the third. He once again leads off an inning here in the fifth. Rivera, line drive foul, heads up. Coach Hernandez just got drilled. Looked like he got hit in the shoulder as he tried to get away from that ball down the third baseline. That was one of the harder hits I've seen him take. He's just trying to walk it off out there with the athletic trainer. We hope Coach Hernandez is all right. That was a rocket right at him off the bat of Sergio Rivera. Get ready for the madness in March. The SWAC basketball tournament begins on March 9th, and you won't want to miss your chance to catch Bethune-Cookman basketball on the hunt for their first ever SWAC basketball title. All the action goes down at the Gateway Center in Atlanta, Georgia, featuring both BCU men's and women's hoops and a special appearance from the Marching Wildcats. Get your tickets today at SWAC.org, but if you can't make it, the action will be on ESPN Plus, or you can listen to every moment for free on the radio at youtube.com/CatEye Network, bcuathletics.com/radio, or locally in Daytona Beach at 1380 WELE. They're still looking at the right arm of Bethune-Cookman head coach Jonathan Hernandez after he got drilled by a foul ball in the third base coach's box. Alex Huang throwing some pitches to try and keep himself warm. You can follow the Wildcats like never before and listen to every CatEye Network broadcast live for free. Just head to bcuathletics.com/radio on your computer or mobile device to hear the hometown radio call of every Wildcat home game and select road games for absolutely free. Don't miss a second of the action. That's bcuathletics.com/radio. Shout out to our radio listeners today, joining us from Jackie Robinson Ballpark here in Daytona Beach. 2-2 is our score. No out, bottom 5. Sergio Rivera hit a line drive foul ball that hit Coach Hernandez in the third base batter's box and looked to have hit him either up on the right shoulder or somewhere in the right arm. That was a hot shot, a rocket towards third. Hopefully Coach Hernandez is okay. Looks to be all right. He's going to get back, put the helmet on, stand back in the third base coach's box. And the count is 1-1 on Sergio Rivera, who stands back in. Alex Huang, 52 pitches so far in the contest. Nobody throwing in the Yale bullpen just yet, but some light stretching and muscle activation work going on down the first baseline. Rivera squared to bunt, pulled his bat back and took a ball low on a curveball. Wildcats have used some clutch defense today to get out of some jams. They have left 6 Yale runners stranded, 4 of those in scoring position. Including leaving the bases loaded in the top of the 5th. 3-1 the count to Rivera. Here's the pitch. Rivera pops it sky high on the infield inside the mound. The first baseman, DePrima, calls off everybody and makes the catch. Fights the sun to make the play. He's the only player that was in that gaggle inside the mound that had sunglasses on, as the sun is blazing bright here in Daytona Beach after it was windy and cool and overcast to start the game for the first 4.5 innings. Back to the top of the order, here's Eric Almonte. Almonte flew out to left off the end of the bat his first time up. Singled to right in the third and was caught in a double play to end that inning. Breaking ball outside from Wang. Eric Almonte having a solid start to his Wildcat career. 4 runs on 7 hits. A double and 3 ribbies. Also leads the team in stolen bases with 4 coming into today's contest. He watches a fastball in the opposite batter's box. And now some throwing is going on down in the Yale bullpen. As soon as I can catch a number, I'll get a name for you on who's throwing down there. Right now, Wang has Almonte to deal with. Almonte rips it along the right center field. That is dropping and will be caught by a diving Larson. Full extension from Larson to rob an extra base hit from Eric Almonte. Almonte tips his helmet to him as he goes back to the dugout. And there's 2 away in the inning. Both teams have brought the defenses to play today. 2 away in the inning. Here's Andre Martinez. First pitch, breaking ball strike. Martinez 0 for 2, fly to center his first time up, and then grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end the 3rd. Rodriguez chops it foul. He's behind 0-2. The pitcher warming up in the Yale bullpen is either Teo Spadaccini or Ben Winslow. I can't tell who it is. Both of them appeared against the Wildcats on Friday. Looks like it is Winslow. That one bounced to the plate. I'll get you Winslow's numbers when he came in, but he was very effective on Friday night. Unfortunately, he did take the loss, gave up the 2-run homer to Martinez in the 9th. Before that was looking to shut the Wildcats out of it. 1-2 to Martinez, looking for a quick 1-2-3 here. Martinez in the air to right center field. Tracking back towards the wall is Larson. He reaches up, he makes the catch as he crashes into the wall. We can rename the bottom of the 5th to Larson inning. He robs the Wildcats with 2 outstanding defensive plays, and it's 1-2-3. We go to the 6th, still tied at 2 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We go to the 6th, tied at 2 here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark in Daytona Beach. Last of a weekend set between the Yale Bulldogs and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats that was interrupted yesterday due to both teams running down to the Andre Dawson Classic to play a Saturday game. This is an abbreviated little 2-game series, Friday, Sunday. Andres Barroso fires a fastball strike to Chase Chaplin. Chaplin 1 for 2. singled on the infield to second in the second, then popped out to second in the fourth. Swinging a chopper back to the mound. Barroso off the mound to field, gather and fire, and they'll call that a foul ball. So Chaplin will get another chance to hit. Apologies about the center field camera. It is really heavily affected by the wind, and with the wind gusting up to 14, 18 miles an hour today, it's been pretty shaky. That's just a strike 0-2. Strike 3 called, or at least that should be strike 3. Oh, it's only 0-2. Nobody complaining on the field. But the count is 0-2 on Chase Chaplin. Barroso, who came in replace of Bocabella with 2 outs in the 5th, and the bases loaded, has Chaplin foul it away. Count still 0-2. Chaplin, got Owen Turner to strike out to end the inning and strand the bases loaded, keep the game tied at 2. Fouled away again. Yale has done a really great job today lengthening these at-bats. Tanner Bocabello threw 71 pitches in just 4 2/3 innings. Lots of foul balls, lots of long at-bats. Only 2 strikeouts today for Wildcat pitching. 1 for Barroso, 1 for Bocabello. There's number 3 as Barroso deals a fastball down in a way that Chaplin can't catch up to. And there's 1 down in the inning. Andres Barroso has one of the more funky deliveries that I've seen. He can change on the fly between going over the top like a traditional pitcher and coming in at almost a 90-degree side armor angle. He can just... That's a foul ball. Colin Sloan leaned in to bunt. The ball went off the knob of his bat. That's strike 1. Colin Sloan is 1 for 2. Singleton was caught stealing in the 4th, grounded out the 2nd. But Barroso can throw any of his arsenal of pitches from either angles. There's, you see the sidearm type angle, gets a strike called outside, and it's 0-2. And according to the coaching staff, he doesn't tip, he doesn't tell. Breaking ball, chopped towards short. Charging is Poyeto. 2 steps, a throw it across, and there's 2 down. Tito Poyeto has been busy. That's his 3rd putout. Now it's Jackson Hayes, who's been aboard twice. Walked in the 3rd. Singled and scored in the 5th. The 2nd of the 2 Bulldog runs came in on the sack bunt squeeze play by Garrett Larson. Ended up being stranded on 3rd in the 3rd after the Wildcats got out of a 1-out bases loaded situation with a 5-3 double play. Low and inside from Barroso, ball 1. The Wildcats also have relief warming in the bullpen. They have ever since Barroso had a rocky start to his appearance. Just missed the inside corner with the fastball, 2-0, but Barroso has turned it around here. Low 3-0. Well, just as I say that, the command eludes Barroso again. He came in. I want to correct an error I made earlier in the inning. He came in with 1st and 2nd and 2 out in the 5th. As there's a strike. He walked Bauer to load the bases, then struck out Turner to retire the side. Barroso gets the call on the outside corner for strike 2. The count runs full on Jackson Hayes. Chopper right back to Barroso. He walks to first and underhands. 1, 2, 3 go the Bulldogs for the first time in the contest. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 2-2 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the bottom of the 6th we go here in Daytona Beach. 2-2 between the Yale Bulldogs and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Alex Wang goes 5 full innings and hands over to Ben Winslow for his 2nd appearance of the season. Winslow fires a strike to the lefty Darrell Lee. Winslow against the Wildcats. 2 innings pitched, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, struck out 3. Swing and a miss by Lee. All 3 of those runs were in the 9th as the Wildcats came back to win 7-5 after being down 5-4. Lee, high fly ball down the left field line, tailing out of play. But when Winslow came in on Friday night, he retired the first 6 Wildcats he faced before Michael Lucena got the action going in the 9th with a single. Eric Almonte added a double, then Andre Martinez's walk-off home run into the game. Down and into lead, 2-2. But Winslow looked very solid until he kind of fell apart in the 9th as the Cardiac Cats came back to win. 2-2. Down and in, bounce to Lee. And it's 3-2. Correction, it's 2-2, not 3-2. Alex Hwang goes 5 full innings, throws 62 pitches, gives up 2 runs on 5 hits, both earned, strikes out 2, walks 1. Lee swings and misses at a changeup. Up and away, and he goes down. Lee is now 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Now batting the first baseman, number 33, Jorge Rodriguez.
Jorge Rodriguez is 0 for 2. Struck out of the second, flew out to center in the fourth. Looking to stunt this really slow start to his season offensively. Breaking ball strike inside corner, strike one from Winslow. Rodriguez watches that one bounce in the opposite batter's box. A ball and a strike. The wind has been pretty constantly blowing from left to right. Left field to right field across the diamond all day. As there's a strike at the knees. Rodriguez not happy with it, and he's down 1-2. Which has really limited a lot of the Wildcats' power because a lot of their power bats are right-handed. Martinez, Rodriguez, Poyeto. Check swing. Did he go? No. And it's 2-2 on a curveball outside. Sometimes the wind is coming in from left center as it is right now and kind of blowing towards the Yale dugout. Curveball popped up, foul territory out of play, first base side. Onto Orange Avenue behind the grandstand. Michael Benedict, who's been the Tuesday starter so far this year, has the task of going to find that baseball. Swing and a miss. 2 straight strikeouts as Winslow, just as he was on Friday night, comes out throwing fireballs. That one corkscrewed Rodriguez as he tried to catch up to the inside in high heat. Now 2 away. Here's Judah Poyeto. Popped out in foul territory to the first baseman of the second. And ripped a ribby double down the third base line. And the fourth came around to score himself on the sac fly by Jose Fernandez later in that inning. He's responsible for both Wildcat runs. Poyeto also has one of the 3 Wildcat homers this season. And he's way ahead of that off speed. And he's quickly behind the count. Poyeto homered in the middle game of the series against Bradley. That was the 17-6 Wildcat win. And he swings and misses again, and there's 2 strikes. Ben Winslow has looked untouchable this inning. Outside, no swing. Count is 2-2. This is one of those games that's going to come down to the clutch hitting in the late innings. And can the bullpen do the job? Poyeto stays alive, fouls it off the end of the bat. Out behind the concourse. It's going to come down to potentially small ball. Can you scratch a run across here in the last couple of innings? Poyeto pops it up on the infield. Right on top of the mound. DePrima makes the catch. And the Wildcats go 1, 2, 3. The last 6 Wildcats have been retired in a row as we go to the 7th inning. Still 2-2 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the 7th we go, 2-2. Here at the Jack between the Bulldogs and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Andres Barroso starts his second full inning of work on the mound after hitting the Bulldogs to go 1-2-3 in the 6th and getting out of a bases-loaded jam in the 5th after coming on in relief of Tanner Bocabello. Brady Ruiz-Weiss leads off. Ruiz-Weiss has 2 sack bunts today, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. Not got a sack bunt right now as he leads off this inning. We might try and squeeze one. Corners are in. Chopper towards second. Almonte fields on a hop. 1 away. That'll bring up the top of the order in Caden Dosa. He's 2 for 3, a strikeout and 2 singles. Stranded on second in the 3rd and 3rd in the 5th. Dosa hit his first home run of the year, a 2-run bomb yesterday in the 6-5 loss to Jackson State for Yale. First pitch just misses outside for Barroso. Yale was picked to finish 2nd in the SWAC preseason, or the Ivy League preseason poll this season. But it was a close race as that pitch is inside. 2-0 on Dosa. Columbia, the reigning Ivy League tournament champions. There's a strike. Garnered 9 first-place votes. Yale 7 to finish 2nd. Penn 3rd, Harvard 4th, Princeton 5th, Cornell 6th, Dartmouth 7th, and Brown 8th in the 8-team Ivy League. Swing and a tip into the glove, and there's 2 strikes on Dosa, 2-2. Last season, Yale, as that one's way outside, 3-2. We're tied atop the standings in the regular season in the Ivy League. Inside ball 4. Wildcats look bemused. That's the 2nd walk that Barroso has given up. Walked down where the first battery faced to load the bases in the 5th before getting out of the jam. Now with a runner on first and 1 out, here's Garrett Larson. Larson was hit by a pitch in the 1st, was picked off. And he singled to left in the 3rd, was stranded on first. Grounder towards short, charging Poyeto. He'll go to first. Throws the ball over Rodriguez's head. Rounding 3rd and headed to the plate is Dosa. Here's the throw. It is not in time, and Yale takes the lead on another error by Jeter Poyeto. And Larson, with his speed, gets all the way to 3rd.
Now batting the first baseman, number 24, Chris DePrima.
2 of the 3 Bulldog runs today on Wildcat infield errors. And for Poyeto, another one this season that cost the Wildcats at least 1 run, possibly multiple. Squaring to bunt, getting hit is DePrima. We'll say that's a foul ball. DePrima 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Flied out to center in the 1st, hit into the 5-3 double play that got out of the bases loaded jam in the 3rd. And then was hit by a pitch and stranded on second of the 5th. 3-2 Yale. In the dirt from Barroso. Tipped into Lucena's glove. And it's a foul ball. Well, once again, the Wildcats are in deep. Down late in the game once again. One out runner on third. Barroso deals to DePrima. Breaking ball outside. Fouled away. Two strikes on DePrima. The Wildcat infield all the way in. Toes on the infield grass. Potentially trying to cut down the run at home. Fouled away again. Count holds it 2-2. DePrima watches strike three on a breaking ball. Third strikeout for Barroso. And that batter will be Jack Dower with two away. A one-run lead for the Bulldogs. And Garrett Larson on third. First pitch to him. Strike on the outside corner. Dower is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a walk. Hit by pitch in the fourth, came around to score on a throwing error after a sac bunt. Then walked in the fifth and was stranded on first. And he got hit by Barroso. Dower was the first batter that Barroso faced when he came on in the fifth inning. He walked him to load the bases. Then Owen Turner came up and Barroso struck him out. He's going to have to do so again, or at least get Turner out to end the threat. Wildcats trying to stay down by just one. The Wildcat motto is win the back third. Well, we are in the back third now here in the top of the seventh. And right now, Yale's on top. Squaring to bunt. They will let. They throw to third. Almost got him, but the ball pops out of Martinez's glove. They will let Dower have second. All that matters is Owen Turner. Larson on third, Dower on second. All away. Lucena barely keeps that ball in the glove. With the speedy Larson on third, if anything gets away from Lucena, that's a almost guaranteed run for Yale with how deep this backstop is. Ball away again. 3 balls, no strikes on Turner. Ball 4, bases loaded again. And that'll be the end for Barroso. For the third time in the game, Yale has the bases loaded. They have not scored in either of the previous innings where they have done so. That was the third and the fifth. We will take a quick break and meet the new Wildcat arm when we come back. This is BCU Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Wildcats back up against the wall, down by 1, bases loaded, 2 outs, top 7, and the Wildcats turn to perhaps their best arm in the bullpen. Pablo Torres, the senior out of Orlando, 2 seasons ago led the conference in saves, was SWAC Relief Pitcher of the Year, only made 9 appearances last season, coming off of Tommy John surgery, fully healthy to start this year. Last year at a .597 ERA and 28 2/3 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts, 7 walks. Was preseason All-SWAC first team by both the conference and Perfect Game. Was named the number 30 relief pitcher in all of college baseball according to Perfect Game before last season. But in his 1 appearance so far this season against the Bradley Braves on opening night, he gave up the only run that Bradley scored. 1 run on 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 1. In a game the Wildcats eventually walked off 2-1. We're getting close to that territory again here. Torres will face Chase Chaplin, who's 1 for 3. An infield single, a pop out, and a strikeout. For the junior from Apex, North Carolina. First pitch, high fastball. Pablo Torres has that mid-90s heater that so many SWAC bats just don't see and don't catch up to when they see it. Fastball, grounder, past the glove of Poyeto into center field. Scoring is Larson, scoring is Dower, and it's 5. And it's 5-2, Yale. That was a high fastball that Chaplin just got his bat to and let the speed of the pitch do the work. 2 RBI for Chaplin, and once again, a Sunday game is getting away from the Wildcats here at the Jack. High pop, foul, first pitch to Colin Sloan. Owen Turner goes to second. 3 runs in the inning for the Bulldogs, and they have blown this one open. Line drive center field. Rivera coming on, makes the catch to end the inning. But 3 runs on 1 hit and an error, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. Wildcats up against it. They're down 5-2 on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. The Yale Bulldogs lead the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Ben Winslow looked immaculate in his first inning of work out of the bullpen. 2 strikeouts and a weak pop-up on the infield. The Wildcats got to Winslow and walked the Bulldogs off on Friday. They're going to have to do something similar down to their last 3 innings here on Sunday afternoon. Michael Lucena takes the first pitch high and inside for ball 1. Fastball down the middle for strike 1. Lucena, 2 for 2, 2 singles, 1 to center, 1 to right. Neither one particularly hard hit, just found gaps down there. Low and away, 2-1. Lucena has 2 of the Wildcat 5 hits. The Wildcats have also committed 3 errors. Only 3 of the 5 Yale runs were earned. Three-1 the count on Lucena. Here's the pitch from Winslow. Strike called low and in. And it's 3-2. High pop just behind the infield. That is going to drop into the glove of the second baseman, Sloan, and there's 1 away. Wildcats have not made good contact at all in this game. Really, the hardest piece of contact they've had was the RBI double by Jeter Poyeto in the 4th, where he ripped it down the line to score Darrell Lee all the way from first. Other than that, everything's been soft. Even the hits they've gotten. Fernandez chops it towards third. Charging in is Dower across the diamond, 2 away. Very quickly 2 away as well.
The right fielder, number 5, Michael Rodriguez.
Michael Rodriguez, playing in place of the injured Armani Newton today, is 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Struck out looking in the 4th. And he watches a breaking ball strike over the heart of the plate. Also a strike called there on the outside corner as Rodriguez keeps the bat on his shoulder. Rodriguez dribbler, that'll go foul, first base side. Just barely caught a piece of it. And stays alive in the AB down 0-2. With the exception of the 9th inning on Friday night, Ben Winslow has looked unbelievable. And his stuff is not terrific, but the Wildcats have been fooled by his great placement. He's gotten a lot of weak contact, easy ground balls, easy pop-ups. And at the college level, specifically at the mid-major level, you don't really need more than that. Rodriguez fouls it away again. Winslow quickly delivers and misses outside on a breaking ball. He walked off the mound thinking that was going to be strike 3. Count is 1-2. Rodriguez makes contact and rolls over it on the ground to short. Bobbled by Hayes, the throw across in time. And the Wildcats have been retired the last 9 times they've come to the plate. We go to the 8th 5-2 Yale, looking to put the finishing blow on the Wildcats here on Sunday afternoon on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. 2 innings of baseball left this weekend for the Yale Bulldogs and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Yale on course to win their first game of the year. They lead 5-2. 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 2 in the 7th. The Wildcats have been sat down 9 in a row by Ben Winslow, the relief pitcher for Yale. Pablo Torres back on the mound for Bethune-Cookman, throws low. The Bulldogs sent 8 to the plate in the 7th, and 3 came across. The only man that didn't bat last inning was Jackson Hayes. He leads off. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Hayes has led off 3 of the 4 times he's been up. Led off with a walk in the 3rd, then singled to the third base side in the 5th and came around to score. Inside ball 2 from Torres. Then was the final out of the 6th inning when he grounded out to the pitcher, at that time Andres Barroso. Down low again, 3-1. I never got to the final line on Barroso. He goes 2 full innings, those 46 pitches. Gives up 3 runs on a hit, 2 earned, walking 3 and striking out 3. Fastball inside corner, strike 2. Count goes full on Hayes. Jackson Hayes, the freshman from Wiley, Texas, out of Plano East High School. Bounces one towards short. Poyeto on a hop across the diamond, 1 away. Wildcats have made 3 defensive errors. And it looks like that'll be the end for Pablo Torres after just 10 pitches, as Coach Hernandez is out there. No signal to the bullpen yet.
Can you feel it?
Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest, featuring all new items. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to BCUathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's BCUathletics.com and click on Shop. On a very windy day, the wind's really been the only constant weather-wise. It was raining right before the beginning of the game, then overcast for maybe the first 4.5 innings. Then it was partly cloudy, and now the sun fully out here on Sunday afternoon. Torres faces the lefty Colin Sloan now, and Sloan fouls the first pitch away. Oh, correction, this is Ruiz Weiss batting, not Sloan. My apologies. Ruiz Weiss 0 for 3, 2 sack bunts, and a ground out to second in his 3 plate appearances. Just like Jackson Hayes led off an inning for the 3rd time, he's batting second inning for the 3rd time, although this is the first time he's batted second inning without Hayes being on first, and he watches a breaking ball, strike 3. And there's 2 away. First strikeout of the appearance for Pablo Torres. Back to the top of the order, Caden Dosa. He's 2 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Singled in the 3rd and 5th. Walked and scored in the 7th. Came around on the Poyeto error. And struck out in the first batter of the game against Tanner Bocabello. First pitch to him is a check swing strike on an up and in fastball. Tanner Bocabello started the game for the Wildcats, went 4 2/3, pitched through 71 pitches, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, just 1 earned, striking out 1 and walking 1. Dosa well ahead of the breaking ball there, and he's down 0-2. In the dirt, trying to induce a swing and miss. 1-2 the count on Dosa. Dosa, the top returning hitter for the Bulldogs this year. Out of Mill Valley, California, watches one inside, and it's 2-2. Last season started all 45 games for the Bulldogs. Second in the Ivy League in runs with 49 and fourth in hits with 57. Batted .329. Breaking ball upstairs, 3-2. At one point last season, Hayden Dosa had a 38-game on-base streak. Strike three called, inside and low. 2 straight Ks looking for Pablo Torres. That's a little bit more like it for Pablo. 1, 2, 3 go the Bulldogs in the 8th, but the Wildcats up against it. Down by 3 with 6 outs to go here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Wildcats down 5-2. They have been retired in order the last 3 innings. 9 up, 9 down since the 5th. And responsible for 6 of those outs is Ben Winslow. He's needed just 31 pitches to do so after Alex Wang went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, both earned, striking out 2 and walking 1. Sergio Rivera will lead off the inning for the Wildcats. All 3 of his plate appearances today have come leading off an inning. He's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Flied out to center in the 3rd, then popped up on the infield in the 5th. Winslow deals, soft chopper right back to him. 1 down. 10 Wildcats retired in a row. Top of the order, here's Eric Almonte. Almonte 1 for 3. Singled in the 3rd. Was caught in the middle of a double play to end that inning. Then flied out to left in the 1st and flied out to right in the 5th. That was a terrific play by Larson, diving to his right full stretch to rob an extra base hit from Almonte. Breaking ball outside of the lefty. And it's 1-0. Wildcats will be back at the Jack on Tuesday at 6 p.m. They'll take on the Bulls of the University of South Florida. Fastball up and out, 2-0 on Almonte. Last season, Ben Winslow had a 3.55 ERA, 15 appearances, 4 starts, through 25 and a third innings. That one in the air to right center field, well hit. Back goes Larson, he looks up, he's at the track. He makes another ridiculous diving catch at the track. Garrett Larson has robbed extra base hits from Eric Almonte 2 times in a row. Sometimes in the game of baseball, when it's your day, it is really your day. Here's 2 away in the inning. Andre Martinez watches a breaking ball strike hit the outside corner. He is 0 for 3, 2 flyouts and a double play in the third. Martinez ground ball skips off the mound, comes right to Sloan at second. 1-2-3. The Wildcats have gone 12 up, 12 down since the 5th inning as we go to the 9th. 5-2 Yale here on the CatEye Network. To the 9th we go. Bulldogs looking for their first win of the year. They lead the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 5-2. And leading off the inning is the game MVP to this point, Garrett Larson, who's been the best Bulldog through their first weekend of the season. Today was hit by a pitch in the first, was picked off, then singled in the third. An RBI on a squeeze bunt in the 5th. And then reached on an error and scored in the 7th. Breaking ball hit him. He has been hit twice today. And the Wildcats have hit 5 Yale batters. Nine free passes given up by the Wildcats today. 4 walks, 5 hit by pitches. That is when you know it is not your day. Also, I've told you what Larson's done with the bat. What he's done with the glove has been maybe even more impressive. 2 ridiculous sliding catches in right field to rob Eric Almonte twice of extra base hits. Bunted foul, first base side by Chris DePrima. Larson's had one of those opening weekends that can give you confidence to go on and have a Conference Player of the Year type season. 4 runs, 6 hits, a homer, 2 RBI, has not struck out, has been hit by a pitch 3 times. DePrima 0 for 3 with a walk. Flew out to center in the first, grounded into a double play in the third. Hit by a pitch in the 5th and struck out looking in the 7th. He squares to bunt. Misses it, pulls his bat back in time and takes the ball. Throw back to first. Larson slides in. That one's bunted fair down the first baseline. Oh, he dropped the ball. Everybody's safe. Torres tried to tag him out and lost the ball.
Now batting the third baseman, number 5.
Fourth error of the game for the Wildcats. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Jack Dower. Larson on first, or second, DePrima on first after a hit by pitch and an error. Squaring to bunt is Dower. He takes the ball inside. Checking in on the SWAC games that are still going on right now. Houston Christian up 5-0 over Alcorn State in the second. It's 3-3 in the top of the fifth between Stephen F. Austin and Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's the rubber game of that 3-game series. Incarnate Word has a 3-0 lead over Prairie View in the top of the sixth. Fastball down the middle, strike one. Prairie View will be the first SWAC opponent for the Wildcats. March 13th begins that series here at the Jack. And Northern Kentucky rallies to beat Alabama A&M 8-5. Throw back to second and a dive from Almonte to prevent the ball from going into center field. Other results in the SWAC today: Alabama State defeated Texas Southern at the Andre Dawson Classic. Grambling State hung on to defeat Jackson State 8-7 at the Andre Dawson Classic. That was after Jackson State played in 6 runs in the 8th. Swinging a foul ball off the inside of the bat of Dower, and there's 2 strikes on him. Southern is playing Florida A&M right now down at the Classic. That one bounced in the hole, gets through. Coming in to score is Larson, and it is 6-2. And that's the end for Pablo Torres. Not the start to the year that Torres would have wanted. Came up with a no decision on opening night as the Wildcats walked it off, but he gave up the run to tie the game. And then tonight, the first 2 runs that scored were technically not charged to him, but he was on the mound when Chaplin had a 2 RBI single. Got out of the 8th, 1-2-3, but then in the 9th, hit by pitch, an error of his own making, and then an RBI single. And he is done. And the Wildcats just trying to get out of town now, down 6-2. Still no outs in the 9th. We'll take a break, meet the new Wildcat pitcher in 30 seconds here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. The new Wildcat pitcher is Logan Wirt. He takes over for Pablo Torres. Wirt last season, 13 appearances, 3 starts. He was 0-2 with a 4.29 ERA in 21 innings. 16 strikeouts, 21 walks, and a 224 batting average against. This is his second appearance of the season. Through an inning and a third against FIU, gave up 2 runs on no hits, both earned. Walked 1, struck out 1, and hit 1 with a pitch. No outs, top 9, runners on the corners. DePrima on third, Dower on first after his RBI single scored. Garrett Larson, who led off the inning with a hit by pitch. First pitch from Wirt to Turner. Oh, and Turner takes a breaking ball strike. And this has gotten out of hand very quickly for the Wildcats. It was 2-2 going to the 7th, and 3 in the 7th, now 1 in the 9th for Yale. Have them on the precipice of their first win of the year, and the Wildcats have seen 12 batters go down consecutively on offense, have just gone away on the offensive side. Wirt's 1-1 to Owen Turner. Is a slider outside. Turner 0 for 3 with a walk. Grounded out to short in the second. A sac bunt in the fourth. That was the play that scored Jack Dower on the error. But he's not credited with an RBI. Turner got hit. Oh my goodness. This is starting to remind me of the FIU game on Tuesday where the Wildcats, oh, apparently it was a foul ball. Well, foul ball then, 2-2. Wirt deals, tip back to the screen. Against FIU on Tuesday. As here's the pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 looking. As down goes Turner for out number 1. The Wildcats walked 8 FIU Panthers and hit 6 more. For 14 free passes. This afternoon, the Wildcats have walked 4 Yale batters. Breaking ball outside from Wirt. Ball outside as Chaplin squared the bunt. As I said, the Wildcats have walked 4 today. But have also hit 4 with pitches. Breaking ball slashes through the zone for a strike. Chaplin pulled back a bunt. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Runners on the corners, 1 down here in the 9th. Wildcats down 6-2. This time the bunt is dropped down. Squeeze play at the plate, not there. The throw to first in time for out number 2. For the second time, Yale scores on a squeeze bunt. DePrima comes in, and it's 7-2. Back in the 5th inning, Larson had a bunt RBI that scored Jackson Hayes for the second Yale run of the game. Slider away, first pitch to Colin Sloan. Sloan, the junior from Bel Air, Texas. Drills one to right center field over the leaping Almonte. Rounding third and coming home is Dower, and it is 8-2. This has gone from close game to blowout very quickly.
Shortstop number 13, Jackson Hayes.
Now Jackson Hayes with 2 away and a runner on first. Throw back to first after the ball. Sliding back in is Sloan. Hayes walked in the third, singled and scored in the fifth. Grounded out to the pitcher in the sixth and grounded out to short in the eighth. The Bulldogs do not play a midweeker this week. They'll have until next Friday off. Back to first we go. Then they'll travel out to California to face Pepperdine in a 3-game series Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Stumbling back to first is Sloan, and he's out. The second pickoff of the game for the Wildcats, but not before 3 runs on 2 hits and an error. And we go to the bottom of the 9th as Yale has blown this one open. It's 8-2 Bulldogs here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Three outs left for the Wildcats in this one. They have fallen far behind the Yale Bulldogs. They trail 8-2. As Director of Sports Information here at BCU, Bryce Reinowski, and I were talking in between the innings and said, well, the first 2 weekends for this Wildcats team have looked exactly the same. A walk-off win on Friday, a convincing win on Saturday, and then collapse on Sunday. Literally the exact same weekend, 2 weekends in a row to start the game. Darrell Lee will try and become the first Wildcat hitter to reach base in 12. The last Wildcat to reach base was Michael Lucena with one away in the fourth. Fourteen straight Wildcats have gone down here in the back third of this game. That is ripped to right field and deep. Going back to the track, to the wall. Adios, amigos. Nothing Larson can do about that one. Darrell Lee launches his first home run of the season down the right field line, and it is 8-3. A little bit too little too late potentially for the Wildcats, but a nice round tripper for Lee. So that's the first Wildcat base runner since the fourth.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Pinch hitting for Bethune-Cookman, number 28, Ruben Zueni.
And Jorge Rodriguez's day is done. Ruben Zueni will bat in the fourth spot. Zueni, the freshman from Coral Springs, Florida. Taps it foul, and he's behind on the count 0-2. Zueni looking for his first college hit, has 2 RBIs, but does not have a hit. He's also walked twice and struck out once. He fouls it away. Ben Winslow has been in since the 6th. He's only struck out 2, but gotten a lot of soft contact and a lot of help from his defense, specifically Garrett Larson in right field, who has made 2 tremendous plays. Slider outside. Swing and a miss. Zueni goes down, 1 away in the inning. Third K of the day for Winslow. Here's Jeter Poyero. Has scored one of the Wildcat runs today. Had an RBI double in the fourth. Came around to score on a sac fly by Jose Fernandez later in that inning. Other than that, he's popped out twice to the first baseman. He grounds it foul outside of third. And the count is 1-1. And he got hit. Something about Ben Winslow in 9th innings. Gave up 3 in the 9th to the Wildcats to walk it off on Friday night. And now has allowed a home run and now a hit by pitch. Sandwiched around the strikeout to Zueni.
Number 10, Michael Lucena.
Here's Michael Lucena. There are 2 pitchers in the bullpen for Yale. I'm sure they would like to not have to use them, even though they don't play till next Friday. Lucena watches a ball high. Winslow up to 50 pitches. He's allowed the 1 run on the 1 hit. That was the home run by Darrell Lee. He's struck out 3, and everybody else has just gotten soft contact for. Lucena ahead in the count 2-0. Inside, Lucena turns away. 3 balls, no strikes. Fastball down the middle for strike 1. Whatever happens today, Yale will have another night here in Florida as their planned trip back to Connecticut was snowed out due to 28 inches of snow back home. Strike on the inside corner, 3-2 on Lucena. Lucena tips one back to the screen and stays alive. Poyeto is on his horse going to second. Ben Winslow trying to close this one out for the Yale Bulldogs and to get them their first win of the year after dropping to the Wildcats on Friday in Jackson State yesterday. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Runner goes down to second. Nobody covered the bag, and the ball goes into center field. So Jeter Prieto's going to go to third. Lucena strikes out, and now the Wildcats down to their last out. Here's Jose Fernandez, who singled in the second, was out on a fielder's choice there. Had an RBI fly out to center in the fourth, scoring Jeter Prieto. And then he grounded out to third in the seventh. So for the second time today, he bats with Prieto on third. And he got plunked in the helmet. So he'll go to first. Second hit by pitch of the inning for Winslow. Now runners on the corners, and it's Michael Rodriguez, who is 0 for 2, with a fielder's choice. Strikeout and a ground out to short. And that might be the end for Winslow, as it will be the end for Winslow. So he will not get a chance to close this game out. We will see one more Yale pitcher before we depart, as Winslow gets a nice bit of applause from his own dugout and some of the Yale fans that have traveled down to Daytona Beach. Final line on Winslow, he goes 3 2/3, throws 56 pitches, gives up 1 run on 1 hit, strikes out 4, and hits 2 with pitches. He retired 9 straight Wildcat hitters, the first 9 he faced. The new Yale pitcher is Tate Evans, who the Wildcats have also seen this weekend on Friday. All-Ivy honorable mention last season. Threw an inning and 2/3 against the Wildcats on Friday night, gave up a run on 2 hits, struck out 1, didn't walk anybody. Hit 1 batter, threw a wild pitch. Evans is another Texas native from Flower Mound, Texas, out of Marcus High School. Now a senior this year, has spent his entire collegiate career with the Bulldogs. Last season, a .319 ERA, 3-3 with 22 appearances through 48 innings, allowed 17 runs on 45 hits, all earned, struck out 53 and walked 18. Allowed 3 doubles, 2 triples, 2 homers, and on an opponent batting average of .245. All he's got to do is get Michael Rodriguez, and that'll be the end of the game. 2 outs in the 9th. Wildcats down 8-3. The solo homer by Darrell Lee will assuage him a little bit. He led off the inning with that homer, then Ruben Zueni batting for Jorge Rodriguez struck out. Jeter Prieto was hit by a pitch. Then Michael Lucena struck out. Prieto advanced to third on a throw down to second that got into center field. It has to be 3. There's a strike to Rodriguez. First pitch from Evans, and it's 0-1. Rodriguez takes a big hack and comes nowhere close to that off speed. The Wildcats down to their last strike. On a windy, cool day in Daytona Beach. Evans the 0-2 pitch. Tap foul, and Rodriguez will see another one. Rodriguez swinging a miss, strike 3, and that'll do it. 3 strikeouts in the 9th, a home run and 2 wild pitches. Tate Evans closes it out, and the Bulldogs win their first game of the season as they defeat Bethune-Cookman 8-3. Your final line score, Yale 8 runs on 9 hits. They committed 1 error and left 8 on base. The Wildcats had 3 runs on 6 hits, committed 4 errors, and left 5 on base. But that stretch from 1 out in the 4th to the end of the 8th, where the Wildcats did not get anyone on the base paths. 14 straight Wildcats retired in the back third of this game. Sealed the deal. And the Wildcats take 2 of 3 from their first 2 weekends. They lose the Sunday game each time. As they drop to 4-3 on the season, Yale improves to 1-2 after their opening weekend of the year. That'll do it here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Tuesday night at 6 p.m. We'll be back with BCU baseball against the South Florida Bulls. Until then, my name is Michael Torillo saying so long and hail Wildcats.